Hello and welcome to Chris's Fibro Chronicles. Today is Saturday, November 24th, 2018. It's been quite some time since I've spoke with you all, and it is my prayer that you all are experiencing low or no pain, high energy days, that your spirits are soaring, that you have enjoyed Thanksgiving, the love of family and friends and good food and just pure gratitude for all that we have. For those who were unable to do so, to go out or to even have the desire to go out, it is my prayer that you will continue to hang on to hope. Hang on to God. We have nothing left sometimes, but we don't realize it is the greatest thing we can have, is God. So I encourage you right out of the gate to never give up hope, to give God a try. Take him at his word. He is who he says he is. And I can tell you that not just because I read it in his word and I've heard it, but because of what I know and what he's done for me. Typically, I do these videos and they are specific to persons who have fibromyalgia and the myriad of things that go with it, chronic fatigue syndrome and Raynaud's disease and allodynia, and those who are suffering from what we call invisible illnesses and MS and CP and all those different things. But this video literally covers everyone. Each one of us at some point in our lives have experienced horrific loss, sadness beyond anything anyone knows, fear, whether it's for our health, for our children, our families, for our job, our career. We've experienced separation from family, whether it's because you are living in a different state or country, whether there has been some discord in the family and it's splintered. Whatever the story is, it's pain. If you've lost loved ones, they've transitioned, and whether you knew it was coming or it was a shock, it's still awful and it's still pain. Of this I know. Let me back up a bit because it has been a while. I have relocated to another state, and it was only by the grace of God that I was able to do that. At the time when I did relocate, I was probably sicker than I had been in 3 or 4 years. But I knew he would make it happen. And I had to surrender and give him everything. Not one part of it could I pretend to have control over, because I have no control over anything. None of us do. He does. And I let it go, and it went better than anything I could have imagined. I am thrilled. I am happy. I don't know how to describe it. I miss my family so desperately. But I love where I am. And I'm grateful for every single thing that God has done for me. His provision, His kindness, His mercy, His grace. I could go on and still never even touch the surface of what he's done for me. Please don't get the idea that this has been a cakewalk. It has not. My health has continued to decline. I have new diagnoses. I have new medications. I went through a 7.5 month period with almost no medical care, and you know we can't do that because my insurance, when it changed to this state, there really was no one for me to see, oddly enough. I even had one doctor tell me, "You're not a good fit for our practice." I'm not coming here for a job, I'm coming here for health care. But when you have a doctor tell you that, you don't stick around. There's something there that's not okay, and you need to go find someone else. So, in the 7.5 months that I was running around trying this doctor, that doctor, and the other doctor, I became bedbound again. I haven't been bedbound in about 4 years. And let me be clear about what I mean by that. I had, gotten to a place where I was up for at least 25 to 60% of the day out of the bed. Now, that may mean I'm sitting on the couch or in my recliner or what have you, but I wasn't in the bed all day, every day. And I'd gotten back there. The pain was just enormous. And then, of course, my weight gain. Whew, man, I gained a lot of weight very, very fast. And you know that complicates everything too. I lost my appetite, which complicates things as well. And most people think, well, if you're not eating, why are you still so heavy? Because your body thinks it's starving and it goes into starvation mode and it begins to store fat. The body is perfect. God made us perfect. And He wants us always to be in balance, or biologically, what they call it is homeostasis. And when you move away from that balance, your body begins to react to protect you. Just like when you cut yourself, your skin immediately begins to knead back together. The body does the same thing in a multiple amount of ways. I lost my mother 2 days before my birthday in 2013. I lost my husband November 22nd, 2014. I lost my only brother, my eldest sibling, August 9th, 2017. I moved through each one of those losses without feeling them, without even acknowledging that it happened. And I certainly didn't deal with it. Meanwhile, I had all these people that I work with as clients in a clinical way or in a book publishing or anything like that in consultation, telling people that if you don't deal with the thing, it's going to deal with you. But I continued not to deal with what I had to deal with. My focus was on my sisters and their children and those children, because they done so much and run themselves so ragged, because I was of absolutely no help to them with my body the way it is, and that will always haunt me. But I was watching them almost kill themselves. And after all of those suffered losses, my focus became them. I wanted to be sure that they were going to be okay. At some point, I realized I didn't receive it initially, but I did realize that I was hiding behind them. As long as I was focused on them, I didn't have to focus on my own grief. Doesn't work. It will catch up with you. I began to decline over the last year. Not just my physical health, but my mental health. I was spiraling into that black hole of depression that so many of us know. And I became very, very angry because I said I would never let myself go back into that place. I mean, we all have our bouts here and there of sadness or what am I doing with my life? What's my purpose? And those kinds of things. But those of us who suffer from depression and anxiety, we know when we're in trouble. And we know how quickly we can spiral. And I was doing a quick spiral right into the black hole. And I wasn't even grabbing the edges trying not to fall. That's pretty bad. Again, meanwhile, I'm in all of my fibro groups. I'm talking to people who have been grieving. I make myself available for anybody that wants to talk about whatever they need to talk about. And I pray for and with them. And it's genuine. But it's the things that I tell them that I don't do myself. Like, you have to give yourself a break. You're doing the best you can. Give yourself a break. Yet I was so angry with myself for getting sick again, for gaining weight again, for being depressed again, and from veering off of my prayer time, my study time, my meditation time, my Bible time, all the time that I spend with God, it was just diminishing bit by bit by bit. Now, I'm also aware that when that happens, everything else is going to fall apart. I am incredibly aware of exactly what was happening, but I still felt powerless to do anything about it. Have you been there? It's like watching your house be on fire and you just lay there on the bed. You know you need to get up and run. You can even see the exit. But you lay there and you question yourself, what are you doing? Or moreover, why aren't you doing something? There's an urgency. You need to get up and get out of this room. It's on fire. And the more you talk to yourself, the closer the fire gets and the further into the black hole. I also have significant issues with anxiety. So my anxiety became, I had an expectation from God when I relocated that everything was going to fall into place. And believe you me, He put some things in place I could not have imagined, nor could I have made it happen. So I am certain it was Him. But I just thought I had this new life, this new purpose. I'm ready to dive in. I want to help. I want to be the helping professional I am. I want to be able to do whatever it is I can do within the confines of my illness, and even continue to believe, which I still do, that this illness can be cured. There is a treatment that does not require us to be on medication taking 10, 12, 13, sometimes almost 20 pills a day, back and forth to the doctor, unable to sleep. I actually bit through my lip and didn't know because I was in so much pain. I just kept feeling something on my lip. It was blood. I bit through my entire lip. I bit a hole in my lip. Those things still happen. But I felt excited and purposeful, except I wasn't sure what my assignment was. And I said, okay, God, I'm here. I bless you. You've provided. You've gone above and beyond like you always do. I'm ready. And then there was nothing. And I said, oh, okay, well, I'm rushing things. And then about a month later, I said, all righty, I'm ready. Let's do it. Nothing. Huh? Okay. Time for reflection. Lord, why can't I hear you? Because he's always speaking to us. Don't ever mistake that. God is always speaking to us. Whether he's using a person, he can use a billboard, he can use an advertisement, a flyer on your car, a person that you have no idea who they are, or someone that you do know and that loves you. He uses whomever he pleases to speak to us. Whatever means necessary. That is the depth of his love. That depth we'll never understand. But I couldn't hear anything. Meanwhile, I'm still spiraling down this black hole. I'm now reading my Bible because all I was doing was reading words. And I stopped doing everything. Now, you and I know we can't do that. What happens when we stop trying? We get worse. Get in the bed and stay in the bed for a few days and watch you stay there for a long time. You've got to get up. Somehow, some way, you have to get up. And I used to be so annoyed with people that said that to me. All you have to do is just try. This is not about the kind of effort that you could possibly understand, because it is more than a physical effort. It is an emotional and a mental and spiritual effort to move a leg and get off of the bed. Once you get off of the bed, there's a whole nother thing about walking, about not having vertigo, not falling. Remembering, because your mind has so much fibro fog going on, what you got up for in the first place. What room are you in? What room did you want to go in? What is today's date? What is today? When is the last time I was out of the bed? Who's the last person I spoke with? When was that? That is our reality. That was my reality. But I had a part to play. You're not sick. When anybody calls, when anybody has any interaction with you, you're not sick. So they didn't meet the woman with the dark circles like I have now. They met her. Hi, I love you. Everything's good. I'm good. This is amazing. I'm so blessed. I'm just through the moon and I'm happy. Truth of the matter is, here's the paradoxical piece. I really am happy. So you can be happy and be in a mess of trouble. So how then am I to get out of this place? Because I need to do something. I had no clients, save for one, and I had been working on that project for some time. I wasn't talking to anyone. I wasn't writing. I wasn't reading. I wasn't doing anything because I was just angry. I wasn't angry with God. He did his part. He does his part. He's sovereign. I wasn't mad at Christ. He's constantly interceding for me. I was mad at Chris because I said I'd never be here again. I have fully surrendered my life, my everything to God. I will enmesh myself in his word. I want it to infuse itself into me via the Holy Spirit so that I know, not wonder, but I know what it is he would have me to do, when he wants me to do it, how he wants me to do it. I know he's going to equip me. He's not going to send me on an assignment. He's not going to give me a job without the tools, without a map. He won't do that to you. He won't do that to us. But there I was sitting without a tool, an assignment, a map, a thought, or an inkling. And I was angry because I knew there was something I was doing that was keeping me from hearing him. And that book came back to mind that I know I've spoken of before. It's called With Jesus in the Quietness by Adam Hogue, Hogue. I had to get the noise out of here. There was so much noise in here. What noise, Chris? Grief. I don't have my mom. Grief. I don't have my husband. Grief. I don't have my brother. My brother. My brother. It still boggles my mind that he is not here. Noise. Constant noise. Your failure. You're 50 years old and you still haven't gotten it right. What about all those songs you wrote? What about all the book ideas? What about all the projects that are in numerous binders and spiral notebooks and written on paper towels and written on the edge of the flyer from the grocery store? What about it? Why can't you move? Everything you have, everything that you need is sitting right in front of you. Why can't you move? Why won't you move? I said nothing. I did nothing. I just laid in the bed. And then I decided to answer the phone one day. Someone called, and I've not been answering my phone, but I did. I decided to answer because I wanted my friends to know that every single time that phone rings and I look and I see your name, even when I don't answer, I am thrilled to know you love me enough to keep calling. It means something. Even if I am not in a space where we can talk at all, because it sounds simple to just pick up the phone and to say, listen, I really can't talk right now. That's too much for us sometimes. So we just don't answer. But it means something, because there are some people that will eventually stop calling you. Fine, she didn't want to talk. I ain't gonna waste my time like that. That's cool. It has nothing to do with that. And we are so grateful for those who continue to call and continue to call or text and say, I'm thinking of you, or text and say, I'm right here if you need me, or it's been a little too long since I've heard from you. I need to hear your voice. Those things are understandable, but it's all about how you manage and how you manage the noise, the swirl of information, the swirl of everything. So I had to get quiet. I had to get some of those things out of my head. And I picked the phone up and I was talking to the young lady. She is a very good friend, very gifted young woman. And she and I went from joking about a video to my screaming out loud, God, what do you want? Why won't you help me? I will do what you ask me to do. I just can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't even feel you. Please, whatever I'm doing that's blocking, please move whatever that is. My gracious friend did not say a word the entire time. And when I finished screaming and crying out, I was spent. I was exhausted. And I slept. I don't mean napped. I don't mean our version, the 5-hour sleep. I slept. And I woke feeling refreshed and like a deep breath. And I said, God, it's only been 12 hours. I know that some prayers, you just gotta wait and be faithful. But you turned my everything in less than 12 hours. Is that what it was? I needed to cry out. I needed to say to you, I hurt. I am in agony. And I'm not even talking about my physical pain. Because my emotional pain, my spiritual pain at that time was so much worse. I couldn't even cry. I couldn't. How do you mourn something or someone you refuse to acknowledge you lost? You can't. He changed my spirit. And you always hear me say it starts with the spirit. I'm not kidding. I'm not making this up. This is not some kind of tagline for a brand. It starts with your spirit. It starts way inside, in that intangible place where you want to get up. You want to. Now, your body may take a while to catch up because this is funny acting. Like, yeah, we weren't up yesterday. What are we doing? We're getting up. We're going to get up for 10 minutes, but we're getting up. And I did. And I got up. And I was up for a while and I kept thinking still, I don't know what I'm doing. And I began looking in the Word and just kind of running around on YouTube or whatever. And I came across, Darrell Coley singing He's Preparing Me. Light bulb. That's why you can't figure out just yet what you're supposed to be doing. Because God knows you're not ready yet. He has to bit by bit by bit Chris. Because he knows if he overwhelms Chris and tells her everything, she will shut right down. Some people, when they become overwhelmed, they become hyper puppies. They're everywhere. They're doing everything. And then there are those of us who see an entire mountain and we just stand there like, how am I supposed to get to the mountain, more or less climb it? We don't do anything. I'm just going to hang out here in the cave. I'm good. He knows his children. He loves us with a love that is indescribable and beautiful and wondrous. He knows what we can handle and what we can't. So I made the decision that I would get into a position of readiness. I'm going to be ready when he finally gives me that peace where I go, that's it. Now the puzzle pieces have come together. And then I'm ready. I have every experience. I have every ounce of faith and strength that I need to attack, to develop, and to conquer this assignment with positive outcomes, that ripple of blessings. God is so amazingly good. I've still been quite frustrated with myself. But then I had another very good, very honest, very blunt friend said, I'm not listening to you do this. You're beating up on yourself, and I'm not going to listen. I'm not entertaining, and I love you. I'll talk to you soon, but I'm not going to listen to you do this. Wow, did I just really get lost in thought there for a second on camera? All right, well, I am who I am. And I love who I am because I was created by God and I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. And He loved me before I was in my mother's womb. He knew who I was going to be and what I was supposed to be and what my purpose is and how it's supposed to come to fruition.